Tony, this is a fun time of year. Gotta try to pick the best teams. What's your thought now as you have just kind of started your bracket?
Yeah, just started, and it's been quite the lengthy process of them always going back and trying to overthink it a little bit, maybe too much. But it took a while to get to just this point, but I'm feeling pretty good as this is, I gotta say, one of the more unique years in terms of the big dance. I try to go more different methods, try to look more analytical by looking at who's got the better RPI, better strength of schedule. You got to take matchups into account of everything as well, but that's kind of where maybe the overthinking comes down to it, is sometimes you just go out there and you have a better shooting day than the other team that can really do you in, but that's part of what makes it fun.
All right, here we go with Tony's picks. We're up to the Sweet 16 right now with Villanova and Florida, 1 versus 4. Tony, you like Villanova? Do you like them to continue?
I do like them to continue. The defending champion, number 1 overall seed in the whole tournament field. I like them to take care of Florida.
How about that Southern Methodist team down there? They're known as SMU, but in the Shawano area, we have to be careful because that's Shawano Municipal Utilities. But SMU and Duke, I know you're a Duke fan, so I think I kind of know where this one might be going.
Yeah, you got it right. Southern Methodist, a pretty good team. I do have them upsetting number 3 seed Baylor and making a strong run into the Sweet 16, but Duke takes care of them.
To the next set of teams where we have the Zags and Notre Dame, it looks like, down in the other bracket. How do you foresee these games going?
Well, this one, I'm actually a big Gonzaga believer this season. I know a lot of people criticize them not being able to get the job done in past years. They got a pretty good team, 5 players averaging double figures. I think this is the year they make a big run.
All right, so we're moving the Zags through then, and then what about the other half?
This one, Florida State's got a pretty good team in a tough ACC, but Arizona, I think, just too much in this one. Kind of notice I'm going a lot of chalk here. I'm not really foreseeing a tournament Cinderella this year to make a deep run. A couple of opening round upsets, but number 1 Kansas moves on.
All right, and sticking with chalk for the next round?
Yes, I am. Oregon dealing with some injuries. Dylan Brooks, a phenomenal player who, I mean, this one could really go either way, but Louisville, just too tough.
You got Oregon going pretty far considering they're not at 100%.
That's true. I do believe in the Ducks here.
All right, North Carolina and Butler. It's everyone's favorite Cinderella down there, but they're not much of a Cinderella anymore, sitting at a 4 seed.
Absolutely, and they got a pretty good matchup. I got them beating the 12 seed Middle Tennessee State after a 5-12 upset over Minnesota, but Butler falls. Tar Heels just too much offensively for them.
All right, and a lot of people have that UCLA Kentucky. That one's been giving people a few headaches. How about you?
That one, go back. You got UCLA with Lonzo Ball, Kentucky with Malik Monk, but overall, I think Kentucky just gets it done with maybe the younger team, but really it's not a coincidence that you see these same coaches making Final Four appearances year in and year out.
Speaking of coaches, you got Coach K up there trying to get his Duke Blue Devils back to the Final Four. Does that happen in your bracket?
Yes, it does. I think Duke pulling off the way they're playing, one of the hottest teams in college basketball right now. Hopefully they still have some fresh legs when they get the top seed Villanova.
Teams from the West.
Yep, nice West Coast battle here. I'm going with Gonzaga over Arizona. Arizona should be a really good game too when you think about it.
So you got a 2-1 there in the that matchup. Now we go to the other side of the bracket where we still see a lot of chalk here.
Yep, a lot of chalk here. We'll start up at the top. I got Louisville actually picking off the mild upset over Kansas. Louisville, a pretty strong team in the ACC. I think they make a Final Four appearance out of this region. These two teams played one of the best games in the regular season earlier this year. Kentucky came out on top. I think they do it again, just getting the better of Carolina.
The 2 seeds, what does that tell you about this tournament field?
That there's about 8 quality teams that could be considered national champions this year. It's a pretty strong field in terms of the top half. So this one, I'm going Duke, just giving the edge over Gonzaga. I think, like I've been saying, they're one of the hottest teams right now. Of course, they do live by the 3-ball a lot. That could come back to haunt them, but I think it continues as they get just enough to move past Gonzaga. And this one would be a phenomenal Final Four matchup. A couple of closely related schools, big rivalry there in Kentucky, but I think it will be Kentucky moving past Louisville in a very close game. I'm going to give the slight edge to Duke just because of Coach K's experience. Duke might have a little bit more experienced guard play as well. The only thing that could come back to hurt them is that rebounding on the glass. Duke giving up a lot of offensive rebounds. Kentucky, I think, just not quite enough to move past Duke. It'll be a very high-scoring game. I'm going 88-85 final. So that one might be a little bit of the heart, but I think Duke's got a very quality team and a good chance to win it all.